Hey, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, no fancy schmancy stuff going on here. And we are finished. This is Flashback Monday. We are finished with 2012. We're going to do December today. We did January. If you haven't watched it, please do so. And I'm just putting these away. February, and we did March, and we did April, and May, June, July, August, September, and I seem to be missing two. Ah, shoot. No special editing here. Uh, November, actually, October and November. And I want to suggest, and I want to make this a suggestion. I learned the hard way that you should not buy this type of magazine holder. Should not buy it at all. I've had to learn the hard way that the magazines get damaged. They get stuck in the hull sometimes, they get crinkled. It's bad. If you're going to buy a magazine holder, buy this kind. It's much, much better. I learned the hard way with those other things. And we are finishing up with December 2012 Romantic Times Book Review Magazine. There's 268 reviews in here. Our Flashback Monday is going to be a little smaller, probably 50 books. So let's get started. January is going to be huge, so January 2013. Gonna be huge. So, and I found a secret way to continue this after the book's end. This is so cool. I am so excited. We'll have to see if it works. Okay. So, let's look at my list here. Amanda Scott. And of course, I didn't fix the order of these. The Laird's Choice. 4.5 stars. With the first in the Lairds of the Loch series, Scott demonstrates why she's a master of the genre. Her crispy paced, intriguing plot and sensuous characters with unique powers and personalities set against the historical backdrop of the Scots' battle for independence immediately draw the reader in, not to be missed by any fan. Lady Andrina MacFarlane has the ability to sense others' thoughts and feelings. Magnus Galbraith last saw his family 2 years ago when his enraged, grief-stricken father disowned him. Now he escapes an enemy galley and washes up on MacFarlane land. He is rescued by Andrina, who calms and inflames him. He agrees to take on her clan name and champion the MacFarlanes when he sees the king. Andrea will not be left behind. During their arduous travels, their attraction proves insatiable. See what happens there. I don't think. Is it this? Lucia Cornwell. How to deceive a duke. 4.5 stars. Cornwell takes a plot as old as time and infuses with freshness that will satisfy readers who love a marriage of convenience romance. Her complex characters and their emotional baggage will tug at readers' hearts and will have them cheering on the intrepid heroes and wounded hero until the very end of this crafted romance. When her sister runs off with a new admirer, refusing to marry Nicholas Hartley, Duke of Temberley, Meg Lighton, the weed in the Lighton rose garden, decides to step in and save her family from ruin. Nicholas has no idea who is behind the heavy veil. He has been forced into marriage by his grandmother. Nicholas' anger at his grandmother spills over to Meg, but Meg is strong enough to resist his efforts to make her feel worthless, unwanted, and unloved. Still, there's no denying their undying attraction. See what happens. What an Earl wants. See. What an Earl wants. 4.5 stars. Mistress of her craft, Michael uses her signature wit to introduce the characters and initial plot, and then spins a multi-layered tale that slowly becomes darker and darker until the reader is shook by the mirrored twists and turns leading to the denouement. There is a novel that holds attention. Here is a novel that holds attention because of the intricate story, engaging characters, and wonderful writing. I can't see the stuff. Since her mother shot their father and ran off with her lover, the Redgrades have lived a scandalous life. When her parents are killed in a coaching accident and her half-brother becomes the Earl of Saltwood Ward, Jessica Linden is determined to remove him from the arrogant Gideon's Redgrave grasp. Instead, she is drawn to Gideon by the hint he drops about her parents' murder. Gideon is shocked when Jessica appears immune to his charms and intrigued by her streak of independence. That she is curious about her father's death is even more important to him. They slowly unearth disturbing information about a possible defunct Hellfire Club whose members are dying in suspicious accidents. Uh, a taste for scandal. Dear. 4 stars. Erin Knightley, as satisfying sweet as one of her heroine's cakes, Knightley delightfully and charming romance is both tender and adorable. Readers can suspend their disbelief and assume that love can cross class lines with ease. Will discover an engaging tale that tempts the palate as much as the heart. Jane Bunting is proud to support herself and her brother, running a small bakery. She has little time to dream about love. Then Lord Raleigh comes into her shop. Richard Moore, Earl of Raleigh, lives the life of a desolate aristocrat. The delightful Miss Bunting resists his charm, but he's not immune to her delectable scones and buttery rolls. Determined to make Jane see him in a different light, Richard asks for a baking lesson. As they toil over a hot stove, the temperature rises and love comes to our boil. If you have not watched my unboxing, you should watch my unboxing. I did an unboxing the other day. I got a whole bunch of boxes full of books. I did not know what was in the boxes. And some of the mass markets romance novels were so cheesy. And it turns out they were from the 70s and 80s. That's why they were getting rid of them, and that's why they were in the boxes. But it was like the ones where their eyes met across the room, and she melted at her toes, and it was just, it was so cheesy. It's like, dang, this has to be old. And I'm looking at the copyright. I'm like, oh, the 80s, no wonder. Yes, ma'am. The Fabio days. The 70s and the 80s were the Fabio days. If you don't know who Fabio was, look it up. It's Fabio. He was on the cover of everything back then. Um, so let's see. If you have not seen I have talked about this woman incessantly. She did what would now be called a Gilded Age series and will probably more be popular right now, Miss Brenda Joyce. But her publisher, she had the Gilded Age Jessica Cahill series, and I did a thing on that. She was an amateur detective like Victoria Thomas's characters. And we just did one the other day that is starting out as a detective at that point too. And her editor told her to stop the series because it wasn't selling very well and to continue with the Dewarns. And I always felt bad that the series never had a conclusion or anything. It just ended. See what happens. So surrender. The third of the spy master's men as dangerous and intriguing as readers could desire. Joy sweeps readers into a frightening world of French Revolution, a treasure hunt, and a grand passion. Fearing that her family would be arrested during the Reign of Terror, Evelyn Orsay negotiated with the English free trader Jack Greystone, a smuggler, her sick husband and small daughter to England. After her husband died, Evelyn learns he hid a cache of gold in France. She needs that treasure to survive and once more turns to Jack for help. Jack has not forgotten the lovely Evelyn and reluctantly agrees to bring her with him to find the treasure. I bet they find romance too. Um, Miranda Neville, The Importance of Being Wicked. Lady in the Red Dress. The first in Neville's series centering on a scandalous woman and the art, a deliciously wicked tale that pits a scandalous duchess against a very proper duke. At 17, Carol Townsend, shocked by the ton by running off and marrying an inveterate Inveterate gambler. 6 years later, debt-ridden but vivacious Duchess outrageously opens her home to artists and her husband's friends. Suddenly, Carol finds herself chaperone to her niece and the girl's fiancé, the staid Thomas, Duke of Castleton. When duty-bound Thomas meets Carol, his idea of proper wife is turned upside down. Okay. And I did not see if there's something else over here. I don't. I'm just gonna. I never found this one. So we're just gonna do the one. The View from Here, Cindy Myers, 4.5 stars. This novel packs in everything from quirky humor to page-turning plot twists. Myers imports depth and complexity to her main characters while weaving in the fascinating stories of other intriguing individuals, from the town drunk to an uptight librarian. On the tale of the bitter divorce, a letter from Colorado throws Maggie Stevens for a loop. She finds out that her father, from whom she's been estranged for 40 years, has died and left her everything. Maggie leaves Texas with dreams of finding fortune and some answers to questions she had long ago stopped asking. Arriving in the small town, Maggie is greeted by quirky townspeople, a handsome stranger, deep-rooted tradition, and more questions than answers. So we'll see what happens there. Didn't And I wasn't able to get. Did I get these? I don't think I got these. Oh, I forgot them all three. Ah, I got one. The Witch World. Christopher Pike, 4 stars. Hooray, Christopher Pike is back. Fans new and old will enjoy his intricately plot, offering where the world building really shines. Graduation is here, and Jessie and her friends are headed for an ill-advised weekend of debauchery in Las Vegas. Jessie's wild BFF has invited Jessie's ex, Jimmy, along for the ride. Jessie meets mysterious older man Russ, who teaches her the game of 22. After things with Jimmy get rocky, Jessie gets in a cab headed for Russ, a cab that takes her far out of town into another world entirely. Okay. Um, hide and seek. Hide and seek. Casey Fox, 4 stars. A wonderfully written novel with great mystery and action. Fox shows just how important family can be and how one event can change everything. Kenzie's on the run, hiding from the dangerous men her father was caught up with and fighting for her family. Find Sam is the only instruction she got, but the goons close behind and no experience being on the lam. Kenzie is an unlikely hero. She's determined to save the piece of technology her father would die for. Okay. Um, there's no elixir. Jennifer Armentrout. Uh, 4 stars. A winning companion to Armentrout's government series. Readers will love this brief glimpse into her world, even as they wish it lasted longer. Can you see the a flower of a rose, like a flower made of glass or water? Aiden St. Delphi will do anything to save the love of his life. Alexandra, so when the gods ask him to betray her, he does, until he finds another way to help her. When her temporary cure begins to wear off, Aiden finds himself standing between Alexandria and the guards. I gotta do this. Sorry. That was driving me crazy. Um, Crazy Love. Amir Abrams. Abrams' debut gives us a fascinating peek into the mind of 17-year-old Camilla, who is experiencing the pangs of first love. Camilla is a senior at honor student and a fabulous ballet dancer. She's daddy's little girl, but her relationship with her mother is explosive at best. Coming from a well-to-do family, she has a lot going for her until she falls in love with Sincere, and her jealousy gets out of control. Don't know. Don't know. And I'll just start putting that there. Inspirational. Lovelier than daylight. Rosalind Elliott. 4.5 stars. The historical fusion in Elliot Sandler's Legacy Book 3 continues to draw us into the life she creates, and the era comes alive with fascination for those who want to read about love, faith, and drama during the Westerville Whiskey War of 1875. Susanna Henby is exhausting every lead about the disappearance of her sister, nieces, and nephews. She meets a journalist who is looking for award-winning stories about the temperance movement so that he can leave his father's brewery business and go east to earn his living. Although Susanna's principles about temperance keep her from seeking his companionship, he has vowed to help her learn the whereabouts of her missing sister and her children. This partnership will make Susanna see another side of Joanna Greer. Will she be able to see the plan God has for her? Don't know. A Wild Goose Chase Christmas. It's a multiplex book. It You're so busy looking at the shapes and stuff. You're not seeing the title. They made the title so small. I think the title should stand out, right? Um, Jennifer Alley, the latest in the Quilts of Love series, provides a fun mystery. You're so busy looking at I guess it's supposed to be the quilt, you never even see the title. Like, I want the book with the quilt on it. What's the title? What's this called? I have no idea. I was so busy looking at the quilt that I never saw the title. Through Izzy Fontaine's grandma recently passed, she continues to bless Izzy. Izzy receives a prized heirloom, the Wild Goose Chase quilt. It is full of history, which is why Max Logan wants it for an exhibit at the local museum. He tells Lizzie that the quilt was left to him, not her. Max and Izzy decide to work together to unravel the reverse scavenger hunt. Will the possibility of treasure cause tension between Izzy and her family? Grandma's desire was to use the mystery surrounding the quilt to reunite the family and bring peace. Will that happen? Soul Gate? Doesn't look like an inspirational book to me. Soul Gate. James Rupert, 4.5 stars. Rupert's novel is enthralling and superlative. Truly a story about freedom from things that we hold on to. This tale will captivate readers and encourage a more active, dynamic spiritual life. Reese Roth is a man who used to fight for other people deep within their souls, but he has been sidelined by tragedies in his past that have stunted his desire to continue. As a prophecy has come to light, Reese comes forward to train 4 new people to battle with God for a good against evil in the unseen spiritual realm. But Satan has other plans and will stop at nothing to prevent the success of those who desire freedom. Okay. Um, Dangerous Stage? Again, that doesn't look like my idea of a spiritual, inspirational novel. Cami Tang. The second book in Tang's Protection for Hire series is an action-packed beginning and the pace doesn't lend up. The author blends the perfect amount of romantic tension between Tessa and Charles with a captivating mystery. Bodyguard Tess Lancaster is finally beginning to steady work after spending time in prison for a crime she did not commit. When she and attorney Charles Britton are clued into a frightening plot involving a reality singing competition, they must work together despite their wearing feelings for each other to keep their clients and themselves safe. Okay. Twice a Bride. 4 stars. Mona Hodgson. The sweet romance has characters who are charming, witty, and wear their emotions on their sleeves. Willow Peterson needs a fresh start. Her father is dead and buried, and she is wondering if his death will push her back over the edge, just like the death of her husband did a few years ago. She starts working as a portrait artist for Tom Van Der Veer. The logophophotographer has deep buried feelings come to the surface. She gets some special help from the Sinclair sisters to find a chance at love and happiness. Amish Kitchen. Amish Kitchen. It's an anthology. Beth Wiseman, Kelly Long, and Amy Clipsum. 3 popular Christian authors combined to create a heartwarming set of 3 stories. While a pleasant tale, Long is a bit slow to engage and the ending seems a bit rushed. In A Taste of Faith by Long, Fern Zook is following in her grandmother's footsteps as a herbal healer, which is how she gets to know Abian Fish. She believes he likes another. She fears getting hurt and wants to focus on healing others. Is there room for love in her life? We shall see. We shall see. Ooh. The Growing World of Christian Fiction. Get the whole page. Sci Fi. The Folly of the Worlds. Jesse Bullington, 4.5 stars. It is likely you have never read a book like this one. Bullington takes inspiration from a 16th century painting, and the Flemish provides therein to spin a wildly fascinating tale that will keep you guessing at every turn. The language here is lyrical, body, and constantly challenging. The voices and characters are unique and solid, also somehow epiphanial. In 1421, the North Sea floods Holland forever, changing the known world. The watery disaster brings a variety of challenges for a deranged thug, a conman, and a half-feral girl. If they can quiet their own desires, anger, and lust, they might profit beyond their wildest dreams. If they cannot, they will surely be destroyed. Hmm. Bard's Oath. Joanne Burton. The third book in Burton's Dragon Lord series will not disappoint. Both longtime fans and new readers alike should find this book easy to fall into as Burton spins an epic filled with fantasy creatures, both dragons and human, and betrayal. This book was long in the making. The wait seems to have been well worth it. Leet, a master bard, sets out to avenge the death of the woman he loved. In order to accomplish this, he fashions a harp made from the cursed witch spruce, which will allow him to compel people to do his bidding. When another bard, Raven, dear to the Dragon Lords, is ensconced by the Leet, the suspicion of Dragon Lord Lyndon are roused, drawing him into a web of treachery. We'll do this real quick because it's Mercedes Lackey. Interesting cover. They were very cartoonish way back when. They don't do those much anymore. Um, Thanks to the setting that ranged from the shores of Hawaii to the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, this anthology infuses new spirit into a fantasy genre too often confined to medieval Europe. Lackey opens up her Wadian Elemental Master's world to other authors in this 15-story anthology. Each story follows a protagonist who has an affinity for one of her four elements and must learn to hone that magic power in order to solve a problem in their very different worlds. Okay. Let's move on to suspense. And we missed a book. I have to go back. Shiver. Karen Robards. 4.5 stars. It's nonstop action in the newest romantic thriller by all the ways awesome. Robards is being in the wrong place at the wrong time has devastating consequences for a gutsy single mom. Sam Jones is struggling to carve out a stable life for her 4-year-old son, Tyler, driving a tow truck at night and studying to become an EMT. One night, Sam picks up a BMW only to find a beaten and shot man in the truck. Danny Pantero is working deep undercover pretending to be a crooked agent. Danny has been under guard with the U.S. Marshal, but the safe house was breached by a drug cartel, and Danny was kidnapped. Sam's unexpected appearance saves Danny, but he knows she will now be a target. Sam refuses to cooperate until she learns why the cartel is after him. Uh, Double Danger. G. Davis. Lots of action and suspense keep the story moving at a spanking pace. The return of former characters in the Evil Consortium makes being familiar with Davis's previous stories add enjoyment to this one. Severe injuries forced Simon Kincaid out of the SEALs and into working with the Black Ops division of the CIA. When he saves Jillian Montgomery's life after an accident at a hospital, it brings back memories of the death of Ryan, his best friend, and her husband. Soon he's working with Jillian to prove that the accident wasn't one. Jillian and Simon can't help the attraction that reunites between them. Hello. You're such a good girl. Yes, you are. BJ Daniels? Unforgiven. I can read this magazine for hours and hours and hours. I can do this. In Daniel's carefully plotted western with lush description of the Montana country, a cold case murder has the entire town in its spell. 11 years ago, Jenny West was cruelty murdered. Almost everyone in town is sure the killer was Carson Grant, golden son of the meanest rancher in the area. Carson has been madly in love with Jenny, but they had recently broken up. When new evidence emerges in this case, Carson is forced to return home from Las Vegas. Destry Carson's sister has been running the ranch for 11 years. She lost the love of her life, Jenny's brother, on the night of Jenny's murder. Rylan could not forgive Destry for defending her brother, who he is sure is the killer. Now Rylan has come home to help his family, and all the star-crossed players are back together. Just how many secrets are still left? We shall see. We shall see. All right. On to the mystery. I saw that recently. Where did I see that? Yeah, wait, one more. Trouble in Texas. With a naked guy on the cover. Go figure. Caitlin, 4 stars. This trip to Bramble, Texas brings a close to the mystery of Kate's curse with humor, romance, and heartwarming affection, and some mighty intriguing characters. Brant Cates is in Bramble, Texas, investigating an old family curse related to his great grandmother's death, which is how he ends up at Miss Hattie's hen house. This gets him shot accidentally and cuffed to a bed on purpose. Librarian Elizabeth Murphy, now the owner of Miss Hattie's and caretaker of 3 old women and former hens still living there, is not pleased when she discovers what they have done. Yep, handcuffed a guy to the bed. Uh, on to mystery. Edge of Black. G.T. Ellison. 4.5 stars. Ellison delivers another outstanding crime thriller that plays as many of readers' emotions, fear, love, hate, and shock among them. It's obvious from the first page that this is a master at work. Samantha is such a great character that Ellison can be forgiven for not writing another Taylor Jackson. Dr. Samantha Owens is adjusting to life in DC and away from the tragedy that killed her family. She enjoys teaching, and one morning in a class, a young woman has problem breathing and collapses. She rushes her to the hospital with the help of a couple of students and discovers to her horror that there are others with the same symptoms. The only thing the victims seem to have in common is that they were all riding the metro that morning. Oops. Oh. The bookseller, Mark Pryor. I don't know. Every time I do this, I say I'm going to get organized, and I never get organized. The bookseller. 4.5 stars. Pryor introduces Hugo Marston, once FBI, now head of security at the Paris U.S. Embassy, and his friend Tom Green, a brash CIA agent. They are caught in a fascinating adventure with enough intrigue to satisfy every reader. Hugo collects books and purchases valuable ones from friend Backwist Max. After he witnesses unknown assailants kidnap Max and a stranger take over his bookstore, Hugo embarks on a search for the kidnappers. He pulls Tom into the investigation, and their search into Max's past reveals he was a Holocaust survivor and a Nazi hunter. Oops. See what happens there. Monica Ferris, and then you die. 4 stars. Ferris continues to charm with her latest needlecraft mystery, where the death of a specialty yarn dyer stuns Betsy and the people of Excelsior. She expertly builds multi-layered characters and presents motives that will have you guessing until the very end. The conclusion wraps up nicely with an old wives' tale leading to the discovery of the murder weapon. Betsy Devonshire asks Haley Brent to lead a yarn dyeing workshop at her store Cruel World. Haley is known for her unique vegetable dye yarns. Not everyone is a fan though. Haley's neighbor Maggie Schultz accuses Haley of stealing flowers from her nursery, and she's suspected when Haley is shot dead in her basement workshop. Marge asks Betsy to help find the killer. She uncovers a whole array of suspects, but the deeper Betsy digs, the more she's convinced that Marge might be involved. See what happens there. Um, don't. No, I didn't find it. So I don't have a picture for this. I'm just gonna do it. I don't have a book for it either. I didn't look. Kay Hooper. The First Prophet. 4 stars. Hooper spins off a new series from her popular FBI Special Unit books. The Bishop files focus on a mysterious cabal of conspirators hunting down psychics. A head injury gives Sarah Gallagher a new ability to glimpse the future. The glimpses have been dark, death-filled, and all too accurate. Best-selling author Tucker McKenzie has his own reasons for wanting to talk to Sarah. But when he arrives, her home is destroyed by fire, and he realizes she is under attack. Who is after her and why? Joanna Carl, The Chocolate Mousse Motive. Oh, I bought the wrong one. Oh well, let's just read this. Chocolate shop manager Lee McKinney is so tired of inspirational emails from party planner Julie Singletree that she's ready to strangle her with the cord of her own computer mouse, but she's shocked when somebody actually kills the woman and steals her computer. After all, the email list Julie set up for professionals in the party food business, people more interested in hors d'oeuvres than in homicides. Julie's grandmother, a Michigan philanthropist, recently ordered thousands of chocolate mice from Lee's Aunt Shop, 10 Hughes Chocolate located in the resort town of Warner Pier, Michigan. But Lee's not the only one on the email list with a tie to Julie's family. As the Tango connections emerge, so do more attacks. That wasn't too bad for a mistake. Um, 2 graves. 4 stars. The investigations of Prendergast, the FBI agent NYPD Lieutenant DeGasco, continue in this long-running series that combines adventure, mystery, and the mystical. The action is constant and starts with a bang. However, this is the third in Helen's trilogy, and a new reader could miss the emotional overtones and the constant stream of characters, most of whom have long histories. Special Agent Pendergrass is momentarily reunited with Helen, the wife he thought long dead. When she is kidnapped before his eyes, he starts a long chase following the trail to Mexico. Everything goes wrong, and Pendergrass retreats to his New York apartment to shut out the world. A bizarre and inexplicable murder takes place in several Manhattan hotels. Lieutenant D. and Augusta is able to lure him out to solve the mysteries. What Pendergast discovers takes him to the jungles of South America to find the truth. That sounds like a lot, don't it? Nolan Hart. What the cat saw. What did you see? Did you see anything? um, 4 stars. Hart's unusual method for revealing clues is a highlight of this tense drama, as each expose through Jugs the cat. Although Nella's relationship with Steve is professional, there's a hint of romance. Nella Foley is able to read the thoughts of Kat when she takes over her sister Chloe's life for a week, though the house cat where she is staying reflects the possible murder of the apartment's former inhabitant. Ignoring the insight, Nella assumes Chloe's job and begins a routine among the unusual people working for the Hacklow Foundation. When an office is trashed and an expensive necklace goes missing, suspicion falls on Chloe. With Nella must use her abilities to find out the truth, but her curiosity puts her on the murders watch list. See what happens there. Um. Ah, shoot. I gotta figure out where I lost that one. Oh, um. A Christmas Garland. She's got a whole bunch of Christmas ones. Perry brings us unique holiday mysteries set in India during the mid-19th century. Excellent writing, expert storytelling, and great pacing, along with a complex main character, set the stage for a tale that grips you and warms the heart. Lieutenant Vicar Nawe first assignment after he arrives in India is to defend a corporal accused of killing a fellow soldier. This is a challenge for Nawe since the man is presumed guilty and will hang for the crime anyway. His defense is just a formality until Nawe realizes that all is not what it seems. He needs to dig deeper into the case. It takes a little bit of Christmas garland, along with some deductions of his own, to get to the true story and leave him with a good deal of much needed hope. And another one I wasn't able to get, Thread on Arrival, Amanda Lee, 4 stars. The action starts as Marcy gets involved in a volatile domestic situation. Many elements contribute to the overall charm of the series, including the details of Marcy's life as a craft shop owner. Embroidery shop owner Marcy Singer agrees to hold an embroidery class at the local library for domestic abuse victims. Then she meets Mary Cantor and the daughter Melanie. Mary's husband Adam has an explosive temper, but Mary won't leave because she fears she'll be leaving her father-in-law in harm's way. The elderly man claims to have a tapestry that leads to sunken treasure off Oregon. He believes that finding the treasure will solve the family's problems. I think getting the husband help will solve the family's problems. We've done this lady quite a few times in If Thens and Cozies. Holiday Buzz, Cleo Coyle. Coyle's enjoyable 12th Coffee House book is a fun mixture of family romance, cooking, and mystery. Claire Cossey and the Village Bank Coffee House employees are charge of beverages at the Great New York Cookie Swap, a charity event that brings together the best pastry chefs and the celebrities. The fun ends when Claire discovers the battered body of a baker's assistant. The police suspect a serial attacker committing what they dub the Christmas stockings. When one of Claire's employees is implicated, it gives her an extra push to find out who the true murderer is. I think we are moving on to contemporary romance. Linda Howard and Linda Jones, Running Wild. Hey, he's got a shirt on. 4.5 stars. The tremendous team of Howard and Jones reunite to kick off an exciting new contemporary romance series, The Men from Battle Bridge. The story features a heroine on the run and off the grid colliding with a ruggedly sexy, stubborn hero. A couple of dates with the wrong man has destroyed Carlin Reed's life and forced her to flee. And in a terrible case of mistaken identity, it cost one of Carlin's friends her life. Ever since Jenna was shot by Brad Henderson, Carlin has stayed out of sight and moved frequently. However, the winter approaching, Carlin needs a full-time job. Battle Ridge, Wyoming is remote enough that Carlin decides to risk a job at Jake Decker's ranch as a housekeeper and cook. She doesn't expect an attraction to a tough and somewhat annoying cowboy. See what happens. Any way you want it. Up. Naked guy on the cover. The return of the Brand clan from Whatever You Like reintroduces a family that is enticing and raucous as it gets. Xandra and Remy have known each other forever, and Remy knows one thing for sure. Xandra is her soulmate, but convincing her is another story. As the owner of Elite For You Companions, Xandra finds herself defending her escort service against the gossip that is just a high-end call girl contraption. Then her estranged father wants her to move her business out of town when he decides to run for mayor. When Xandra decides to follow Hart and engage in an affair, to remember, it's Remy determined to make it permanent. See what happens there. Gold Fire. He's got clothes on. Star Ambrose. Ambrose is back with her latest novel, a perfect blend of sexiness, fun, and suspense that features at its center the quintessential cowboy. Zoe Larkin, assistant buyer for Alpine Ski Resort, is charged with the task of getting Joe Scar, once famous skier, to sell his honky-tonk bar. Zoe, known for her wild reputation, wants to create a new image. Sealing the deal with Joss and getting a promotion to is her ticket. Jace, however, is determined to keep the rusty wire as much as Zoe is determined to have him sell it. Let's see what happens there. The Defender. Hey, he's got a shirt on. 4 stars. Set in the shadows of majestic tectons, McKenna's suspenseful, intense romance has definite Westerner feel. Abandoned at birth by her mother, she's always searching for Katie Bergstrom found her passion in falconry, plus a strong communication with her raptors. Now she needs help running her family facility, and competent, handsome John Gannon fits the bill. Yet, even while falling for him, she feels he's hiding something. The FBI is convinced Katie's part of her mother's cartel. But undercover agent Falconer and ex-Marine Joe, always reliable gut, tells him she's not. Let's see what happens. Uh, Finding Home. 4 stars. Greiman's Hope Springs series debut is about charming and warmingly romantic. Even the delinquents in Finding Home will find a place in readers' hearts. Cassie Michaels is known for her soft heart. She's a magnet for strays, be they human or animal. When she winds up the owner of a rundown ranch, all she wants to sell it off and start a new life away from Hope Springs. Her plans go awry when she finds a horse who needs rescuing. An old flame turns up to drive her crazy, and she's crossed paths with a trio of kids who may need more help than even she can give them. But that doesn't mean the town of Hope Springs is going to give up on any of them. Oh. And I think it's the end of Contemporary. We have a couple of authors that I swore not. Well, I own the authors. I just don't own this particular book. So my wish list on Amazon is getting longer and longer and longer as I realize that I got involved in transcribing, and I stopped buying books as much as I used to. And I've hit a certain point in time where I'm like, shoot, I'm missing all these books because I was too busy transcribing at that point. So it's like, the stars, here I come. So we are up to Paranormal. Although I have a lot of January, so let's see what happens. All right. Steel's Edge. Liana Andrews. I keep thinking I have these books. Alright, if you don't know, Ace is over there. And it comes this way. All the way around to here. And then it goes back down again to Feehan. Feehan, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 shells. Frost. Franks. Jekyll and Franks. And so on. Oh, and up top is Miss Laurel. Steel's Edge, Ilana Andrews. Always. Alright. Steel's Edge. Ilana Andrews. 4.5 stars. Andrew's growing legion of fans know a novel of edge has high stakes drama, kick butt action, and extraordinarily intense emotions. Charlotte Deeney had a brilliant career as a healer before her marriage, but there's a dark side to her abilities. She can also kill with them. When her husband walks out, she leaves the weird for the edge, starting a new life. Richard Marr has been hunting and battling slavers, but his luck has finally run out. Charlotte manages to save Richard's life, but the slavers are hot on his heels. Do we have? I'm gonna do this one, actually, the next two, because they're prominent authors, and I could not. Maybe I'll put pictures up now. We'll see what happens. It takes hours to load these videos. Hours. I'm talking like 15 to 20 hours. My upload speed is 3. I upgraded and it didn't help. And there's no use complaining because they're just going to say, well, give us more money. Who has money? Sandy. Hi, Sandy. You can come here, you know. You can come here. Lord have mercy. She has a woe is me. Daughter of spellcaster Maggie Shane. 4.5 stars. Shane has done it again, masterfully weaving a story as fast-paced and captivating as the previous Portal book. Second generation witch Magdalena Lena Dunkirk has always known her Prince Charming looks like, and one magical night she finds it. Ryan McNally is no one's idea of Prince. Charming, but he is instantly mesmerized by the overwhelming chemistry he has with Lena. Unfortunately for them, the clock has to strike 12 at some point. 6 months later, Lena is making a quiet life for herself and her unborn child when she's reunited with Ryan. A dark force begins to build, forcing her to play her part in a centuries-old curse. Heart of Atlantis, Alyssa Day. Uh, and I was reading her, and I used to have quite a few of hers. I don't know why. I never even looked. Shoot. That's what happens when somebody. Nope. Rearranges her bookshelves. I couldn't get past. She had her characters vampire, but she had them at the ocean front, and she had them underwater. So she was mixing vampires and Poseidon, I guess, or Atlantean, and it just didn't work for me. But it was a very well received by other people story. So it's Heart of Atlantis, Alyssa Day, 4.5 stars. Today's long-awaited Warriors of Poseidon finale is here, and it's well worth the wait. From the first Alec, the High Priest of Poseidon has been a complex and energetic character. When Tiger Shifter Jack has lost his humanity in a previous battle, Alec promises his lover Quinn that he would find a way to help her. But a frightening new threat arises. A mysterious being called himself Polytemi Reborn has found the final June of Poseidon and is claiming to be Atlantean royal. Ptolemy wants Quinn as his bride, a demand Alec will never allow. Okay. Um, if you haven't seen my Spark Sands book reviews, go check them out. Wild for You, 4.5 stars. This wonderful addition to the Loved Stakes series focuses on the hero shapeshifter, his family and history, with vampires taking a back seat. Werebear Howard Barr has yet to find a woman to share his life. He works for the Roman Dragoneschi and their synthetic blood company. He's one of the guards, security guards, I believe. And if please go watch the whole all the Sparks videos I did, and the Sands. The Sands are the Argino family, and the Sparks is the Roman tech. The good vampires versus the malcontents. The good vampires do the synthetic blood. The malcontents do it from the throat. And Roman, it gets, you have to gonna bend with a little bit. Uh, with your vampire-ness ideas with some of them, because Roman and his scientists develop a way for vampires to have children. So that's a little stretchy, but just go with the flow. Um, so, Werebear Howard has yet to find a woman to share his life. His grandfather believes it's because of a curse, one that can only be broken by the guardian of the forest, a descendant of the one who created the wares. Elsa Bromberg, a co-star of Home Renovation Show, has also heard tale of an unbelievable curse, but it's not until vampire Shannon Dragoneski convinces the show to renovate a house for her and Elsa meets Howard that Elsa begins to believe the stories. Go check all these videos out. I did a lot of them. Oh, I forgot to look for her. Darn it. Where's my paper? Um, 20. Midnight Warrior Donna Grant. And he's got clothes on. Yay! 4 stars. Super Grant returned with the second back-to-back release in the Dark Warrior tale. This tale turns to growing threat and power of Declan Wars. All of Grant's characters must face not only external threats, but also their internal demons. A decade ago, Tara Kincaid made a big mistake. She trusted Declan Walls. All of Tara's family, except for her, have chosen Dark Druid magic and become Drow. Tara has thought Declan was different until she overheard his plan to trick her into becoming a Drow along with them. She fled and has stayed one step ahead of him. Now Tara believes he has located her, but she doesn't realize that the warriors have also found her. Okay? Will the good guys win or the bad guys win? This lady has a history of silly. Her covers are always cartoonish, and they're all cartoonish. Anyway, Dakota Cassidy, Accidental Genie. The Oops team faces a peculiar problem in the newest wisecracking and wacky novel from Always Delightful Cassidy. When the Oops team, Wanda, Nina, and Marty are on a shopping trip, Marty's werewolf half-brother-in-law, Sloane Flaherty, has been forced to man their phone helpline. His boredom is alleviated when he gets a call from a woman claiming to be stuck in a bottle. When a client asks her to open a bottle of gin, caterer Ginny Carlisle becomes trapped inside, wearing horrendous harem pants. Sloane locates the bottle and rubs it, freeing Jeannie. Now only she feels compelled to call him master. The Oops team has their hands full this time, and unfortunately their knowledge of Dinjin is zero. Sounds cute. Sounds cute. Another one that I was like, why don't I have these? This is the 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 series, the RUPI. Can never say it right. Naked guy on the cover. And I used to write in these in the magazines, and I'm forever yelling at myself now. I never should have done it, but it was buy this one, and apparently I never did. I've looked and looked and looked and looked. For Warren's book is back with another sassy romp, focusing this time on the oh so sensuous Rafael DeSantos. While heading home from a meeting where Jaguar Raphael realizes he's being followed. When Rafe confronts his stalker, he discovers seductive Tess Menzies, a sorceress with a quirky sense of humor. Tess has been sent by her grandfather, a powerful witch, to give Rafe a message from the Witches' Council. After centuries of non-communication, the witches now want a meeting with Raphael, the head of the Council of Others. Rafe suspects there's something strange about this offer, but one thing he is certain in this instant, his voracious appetites for Tess. Ah, Linville, Nightbreed. Ah, I should have. I had. I have Nightborn, but I don't have Nightbreed. In Veal's second book in the Lords of Darkness series, readers can look forward to a clever story with swashbuckling adventure and deep, unwavering love. So it's Lynn and then Vieh. Oh, yeah, HL. James Duran is an immortal warrior who has survived some of the most heinous prosecution imaginable. When he falls in love with a human woman, he's distressed that he has nothing to offer her. Discovering a lost Templar treasure could be the answer to his dreams. Chris Long wants to be in Jamie's forever, so they set off together to find the jewels. But there is someone mercilessly standing between them and the happily ever after. Hey, you want to see somebody that's destroyed Rita Acheron? Uh, uh I just saw this. I just literally saw this. Saw this. What was the other? Julian Stone, King of the Damned. Naked guy on the cover. 4 stars. Caught between realms of light and dark, the Guardians vow to protect the boundary between Dominion places. Uh, the vow to protect the boundary between Dominion places them on the front lines of dangerous conflict. Rowan is one powerful witch whose combative style creates friction with those around her. After her grandmother Kara is murdered, Rowan James knows that this is a time for the final showdown with the demon lord Malik. Since the Salem witch trials, Malik has targeted the James Coven, and now Rowan, who carries his mark, knows it's upon her to stop him since Kara was part of the League of Guardians. Okay. Oh, that's one I forgot to look for. And I forgot to look for that one too. Where is this other one? I just did this series the other day. I went through the whole the first 8, 10 books of the series. Jeannie Cock. Alien versus Alien. Feeling a bit low, there's no better prescription than a hefty dose of cock, humor, and kick-ass action. American Centurion Ambassador Kitty and her baby daughter James are down in Florida with her in-laws. Kitty is none too thrilled when her Senator Armstrong turns up on her doorstep, trying to blackmail her with alleged naked pictures of Kitty with Chucky Reynolds. While they all know the pictures are fake, it does raise the question, what are the blackmailers after? Then, during a routine security clearance, Kitty is attacked by an android who claims Chucky gave the orders. Someone or something is determined to drive a wedge into Kitty's tight-knit group. See what happens there. King of the Dead. Joseph Nassi. A little kind of blurry cover there. It isn't often that a sequel surpasses expectation, but a rare exception. Once again, Nassi has written a thoroughly engrossing story that blends supernatural terrors with heart-wrenching death. Jeremiah Hunt sacrifices sight in order to see the secret world of ghosts and darkness. Now he and his friends Berserker Dimitri, Witch, and Dempsey are on the front of the run of the law, accused of heinous crimes and sorcery. As much as Jeremiah would love to go around permanently, Denise has been receiving terrifying visions that she knows cannot be ignored. The quest takes them to New Orleans, where gifted residents are being struck down by an affliction that science and conventional magic are powerless to cure. If you're a sci-fi fan, you're a you're a fan of this guy, warlock, wizard, whatever you want to call him, Harry Dresden, Jim Butcher, Cold Days. Awe-inspiring storyteller, Butcher continues to take both Harry and readers on a genuinely amazing journey. Harry Dresden's choices, while made for the best reasons, never go as planned. And I want to mention here that the books are really, really good. The audiobooks, on the other hand, are read by I think it's Jim Marsden. He used to play Spike on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And he reads the books. And he reads the books in one single tone, even if there is a big fight going on or things get interesting. He reads in one single tone, and it can literally drive you up a wall. You're sitting there going, you just can't. You just cannot. Reading in one single monotone, never changing, never getting exciting, never getting interesting, never nothing. It's just, the books, on the other hand, are really good. Harry Dresden is back, sort of forced to become the winter knight of Queen Mab. Harry attempts to regain the strength his body lost while he was dead. Meanwhile, Mab's word is now Harry's command, and her first order is the assassination of an immortal. Of course, Harry is not simply going to take Mab's order at face value, and he certainly won't let her go free of this without a fight. But that problem pales in comparison to the magical configuration that the building, one that could destroy Chicago and everything Harry holds dear. Lust for Life, Jerry Smith Ready. Smith Ready final WVMP Vampire Radio books brings this addictive series to a thrilling close. Once faced with the deadly disease, Kara has no choice but to allow herself to be turned into a vampire. But her troubles don't end there. Jim, a vampire DJ working at a radio station, the lifeblood of rock and roll, nearly kills Kara before he's taken into custody. In order to make sure he can protect Kara in the future, Shane McAllister, Sierra's vampire fiancé, has been undergoing combat training. But they're both going to need all the preparation and protection they can get, since Jim Legend of progeny are out there for revenge. Think on to Harley Quinn. And I have to say that I know a place that just got 200 Harlequins in. So we may be seeing some more books here. I don't know where that went. All right, Harley Quinn presents. Did you know that there's Harlequins for, like, if you want a tycoon or a sheik, and then there's some for lawyers, and then there's some for professionals like cops, firemen, that kind of thing, and then there's vampire ones, and then there's cowboy ones. There's Harlequins for everything. All right, so let's see if we can do this now. Playing the royal game. Well, I know that's the picture, but where's the 101? Just gonna leave this. It's Carol Manelli and Friends. It's Harlequin Presents. Um, see if I can do this. Here you go. Playing the Royal Game, 4.5 stars. Carol Minelli, H.R. Alex Santona, and Allegra Jackson made a splash in the Santina headlines with their sudden engagement. But here's the secret: it's an oil sham. The romance of the century is a lie, but the unhappy couple is bound and determined to get through the wedding, while all around them, the other Jackson and Sabrina siblings are creating tabloid headlines of their own. Uh, Can there be a happy ending with a beginning based on a fraud? Okay. Then a woman in Chic's world. Down here at the bottom. Uh Sarah Morgan, Avery Scott ended her relationship with Prince Malik, but neither was happy about it. Now Mal is marrying someone else, and Avery is planning their big party, but the bride-to-be is missing. Avery offers to assist Mal in a search, but being together makes it apparent that they have unfinished business of the heart. Surrendering all but her heart. It's the one next to it. Fear and guilt from childhood tragedies sent Natalie Armitage running from the love Angela Bellini offered 5 years ago. Now, thanks to her brother's criminal behavior, she's back in his life. Angela thought it was revenge he wanted when he got Natalie back, but the love he once felt for her is still burning. But can it survive when the truth is finally revealed? Back in the headlines. So let's see which one is up. Naked guy on the cover. Oops. Are you girls fighting again? The girls are fighting. Sister rivalry. The older Smoky got, she has quite a bit of the tan in her. When she spreads out, you can see it. And when Sandy spreads out, she has quite a bit of the gray in her. We believe, hypothetically speaking, that Smokey takes after her biological father, whoever he may be, and that Sandy takes care of the mother, because Sandy's very delicate, whereas Smokey is the tomboy. Um, so back in the headlines by Shanna Kendrick. When mistrustful Titus Alexander hires down on her luck ex-singing star Roxanne Carmichael to work on his ducal estate, they fight a losing battle against their fierce attraction. If he can overlook the reputation that she may not deserve, and she can thaw his heart and make him see the real Roxanne, they may find love. Okay? And the dangerous Jacob Wilds. Naked guy on the cover. It's the one on top. So these are all your books that we just did. With that one being first. And these are all Harlequin Presents. Jake Wilde comes home to Wild Crossing, Texas, a scarred and broken man until a Spitfire from New York opens his eyes and his heart. Addison McDonald left her New York legal firm for a rundown Texas ranch she inherited. She seeks the advice of a certain returning vet, but after an explosive first meeting, the only help he gives is in the sensual kind. Okay. Kimmy. Um, Maureen Smith. No, Maureen. I know she's in here. Or maybe she's not. Look, these are all the holocrons that are in this book. And I thought, oh, Laurie Wild. I don't see. I hate when they have a full page picture. Oh, it's the people at the bottom. That's it. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't we talk about her earlier? Yeah. We talked about her here, right? Well, how's that for a picture? Naked guy on the cover. But all the ones in the Harlequins are down here. So here are all your Harlequins. Just show those real quick. And we'll go through them. So there, look, I'm not going to show the individuals. That's the whole group. Harlequin Kimmy. Everything is You by Donna Hill. Hill returns to the Lawson clan, but this time the focus is on Aunt Jacqueline Lawson. Estranged from her family, Jacqueline returns to Louisiana for her niece's wedding. While the reunion between brother and sister is bittersweet, Jacqueline is received warmly by the rest of the family, who quickly discover the real reason she has returned after a 10-year absence. Racing Hearts by Michelle Monkou. Mark Newton is a race car driver and the owner of his own racing company. Used to getting his own way in business and in life, that is until he meets Dr. Erin Wilson. Unswayed by his charming ways and good looks, Erin takes her job seriously when it comes to clearing him to race again. Mark teaches her to let go of her need to control. Next book, Melanie Schuster, Poetry Man. Alexis is tired of being celibate and single. Taking the advice of her friend, she writes a list of all the characteristics that she desires in a man. The first three items being tall, dark, and handsome. Enter Jared Van Buren, who meets all of the qualifications except one. He's white. Sharp is swept away in a whirlwind of romance, poetry, and making love, but does not know if she can withstand the challenges of an interracial relationship. I think it has a really good chance of, especially in today's world. There's millions of people in an interracial based relationship. When this was written, I still think it was possible. Actually, probably plenty possible. And A Little Holiday Temptation by Janice Sims. Anna Corell and Eric Whitaker have been friends for 2 years, still emotionally wounded from their first sexual encounter. Anna is hesitant to act on her attraction to Eric. Once again, Erica takes the chance to be with her best friend Eric, and he wastes no time in convincing her of his love. We'll just do a couple of quick eroticas before we end. I have quite a few of these books. I don't have this one. What? Naked guy on the cover. 4.5 stars. It's hard to imagine, but this is the best entry in the Naughty series, and that's saying something. Introducing Dog's 4 half-sisters, the author brings a fresh layer to the McCabe family of Somerset County, Kentucky. Discovering that he has 4 younger sisters, Doug McKay is getting payback for all of his carousing. He's determined to protect the girls and their mother no matter what. Evie makes Doug a promise to stay away from DHS agent Brogan Connors, but they are just one match away from ignition. Brogan is trying to uncover the local militia and put an end to the mayhem. After she breaks her promise, a heartbroken Evie decides where her loyalty lies. The fact that her brother and the man she loves are both involved in life and death situation doesn't make it any easier. And again, I hate the fact that I used to write in these books. I don't have this book anymore, but obviously I did at some point because I wrote have in the middle of the cover. I never should have done that, and I hate myself for doing it. I wrote a lot in this magazine, and I'm thoroughly regretting it now. I don't know why I did that. Reflected in You, 4.5 stars, Sylvia Day. The relationship that blossomed between Gideon and Eva in Barred to You continues second Crossfire book. Gideon is a tough hero to love in this last entry in the series, but ultimately pulls through in this extremely entertaining story. Take charge, Gideon is determined to keep Eva by his side, but as the two grow closer and Eva bears her soul, will Gideon's reluctance to open up be a deal breaker for Eva? Between the secrets Gideon is keeping, his liaisons and his ex-fiancée, and the mysterious nemesis from the past, Eva is finding it impossible to surmount the obstacles Gideon keeps placing in front of her. Oh well. I don't even know why they put a 1 star. E.L. James. Oh, where was that? Was that in here? No, that was in the other. That was in January. So that is the end of Flashback Monday. We got some interesting stuff coming up for January. I've already got a list of about 100 books. So January is going to be interesting. But right now, we are finishing up 2012. How fast this has gone. I started in 2007. We are all the way through 2012. We are working our way through 2016. Then I've got something else planned. Hopefully it comes through. I don't know if it's come through yet. It's going to take a couple days. So we'll see what happens. Over 60 books today. That's not too bad. You know, a couple weeks have gotten carried away and it's gone 80 or 90, but it's about 60 today. So please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. Don't forget to check out If Thens on Fridays and Star Trek Next Generation recaps on Friday. And, of course, Flashback Monday and my daily book reviews. Have a good one.